Hi everyone, this is Karen from Create Your Future. I'm here to talk today about just manifesting in general, how to truly believe that you are the God of your reality. And I am sharing a success story of a client that I've been meeting with for the last couple months and how she changed just her whole entire perspective, how she manifested an improved mood and a couple other things along the way. And I'll share kind of how she got there, how she did that. Also, I am recording this on Halloween, so don't mind my Halloween makeup. Um, so I'm gonna jump right into the success story, and then I'll kind of give a little more information on how she got there. So when I first booked coaching, I had been trying manifesting for 2 years. I seriously thought I am the one person in the universe that this doesn't work with. I tried it with SPs, money, to small things like free cups of coffee. Let me start off by saying, looking back, I have truly learned that isn't manifesting really is. That's not what manifesting really is. It isn't a spell or thinking hard and long enough and something will change. I can manifest all that so easy knowing what not trying is. When you are so negative all the time and in the negativity you go, my SP is messaging me, I'm getting a free cup of coffee today, over and over again, to the point where it is stressing you out, you are not doing it right. Forcing yourself to say it over and over again is not what manifesting is. I couldn't be more clear about it. At that point, you're just reciting random stuff and believing believing if it doesn't show up, then clearly this doesn't work. So yeah, she has a point. Sometimes people are trying manifesting, they're trying to like intend for all these things, but they're coming from a place of lack, and they're almost looking for any evidence of it not coming or not coming fast enough as evidence that it's already failed and that they can't do it. And unfortunately, if someone's in that state of mind, then that's what they're going to keep creating, not because manifesting doesn't work or because manifesting doesn't work for them, but because they've now intended, essentially, or affirmed to the universe that manifesting doesn't work for them. So that's what they're going to continue to experience. You manifest every waking moment of your life. I have proved it to myself as I get more and more aware, from the weather that day to your mood to your encounter, even strangers at the grocery store. I 1000% know what you mean when you say it is your life. It isn't a little side thing a person does. Yeah, so manifesting is it's like a lifestyle, right? It's not about a specific thing, because you may want a specific thing right now, that's fine, but if you don't keep your mindset, then you're also going to lose that, because you think that it's going to go away, or you think that you manifested and that's it. No, you're always manifesting. That's why it's so important to change how you view your situation, how you view your SP. Permanently change how you see them so that you maintain it, so that you keep receiving this person in the way that you want. Because also, if someone is intending, say, that their SP is so loving and caring, and then they start to see it, but then they forget about manifesting and they fall back on their old thoughts, then that's going to also go away. It's about you changing your entire mindset. And actually, once you get one thing, then you should be getting more excited, because this is how everything works. You're manifesting every single thing in your life, every experience you're having, everything is us pushed out. And when you get something that you want, say it's an SP or a job or something, you want to keep looking at that thing in a positive way, in your preferred way, so that you can keep receiving it in that way. So it's not, oh, I manifested this car, this person to show up. You manifest every person to show up, the good and the bad. And this should be very empowering, not scary, because it is proving how much control I have and how I can relax, because it isn't a race to get anywhere. Everything I am experiencing is manifested, so I don't need to get my manifestation to prove it myself. I already know. I wish I was better at explaining this, but Karen probably does a way better job at it anyways. Thank you. Anyways, sorry for my rambling. I will get to the main point. Social anxiety consumed my life since I was 14. Constantly thinking people had the worst beliefs about me, thinking I was ugly, thinking all these very negative perception of myself. I needed people to verbally say positive things to me, or I wouldn't think it's true. Even then, I still had doubt. It got so bad during COVID, I got panic attacks going out in public for fear of judgment or interactions. It would ruin my whole week. So that is why I book coaching, because normally I didn't hear people talking general life changes about manifesting, but more SP or money related. But there was always an end goal, and for me, I just wanted to feel better, and I wanted to experience this godlike state, which sounded like BS to me about 5 months ago. While Karen taught me so much, we went over affirmations that worked for me, not ones that felt frustrating to repeat, but ones that were catered to my situations. Also, main thing I use to this day is the version of me that has whatever feeling or thing that I want. If I'm going out, how will I feel once I get home? I would feel happy and at peace. So I would always say my outing, whatever it was so peaceful, and I was so happy afterwards. Even if I didn't know what I was trying to get from it, coffee, money on the ground, I knew I felt good, and then my subconscious would fill in the rest. Let me tell you what a 180 I have experienced. Now when I go out, I don't pay for things half the time because someone always says it's on the house, or the guy in front of you paid for it. I used to think I was the ugliest thing walking. Now when I go out, I have to expect to get axed out at least once. Sorry if that sounds conceited. It's just a belief now because it has happened so often. I always get hit on and perceive people completely differently. I used to think when people stared at me, it was because I have a recognizable face or my makeup must be on so bad. Well, now when someone looks, I know it's just for positive reasons. I know I don't just have a hunch anymore. That is what building my belief are about now. They aren't building, I am just in the knowing now. I work on the mini list of intentions as often as I can and I continue to build, which has tremendously helped me with my awareness. From seeing money on the ground to a friend who hasn't spoken to me in over a year, reaching out within 2 weeks of me intending it. I briefly talked about a possible SP with Karen last session, and we went over ways to approach that topic that worked for me. And SP wasn't a priority for me, so I never got around to it, but now I feel so confident about doing so. I had a negative story in relation to him, which has changed tremendously, even in the last couple of weeks. That's the other thing of understanding realities and how our mind works. I suddenly had a random Ariana Grande song play in my head, and I'm not even a fan of her music. I was at a Warriors game, and they started playing the exact same song seconds later after not playing music for the first 45 minutes of being there. I was reading an article that said America and its bad foreign policy, and my dad randomly texted me, I don't know how I feel about America's foreign policy. We never talk about that stuff, and the article I was reading was 10 years old. I didn't even care that much to read it, but I did, and I proved to myself just how strong our thoughts are. The more confidence I build around my thoughts creating, the faster I am experiencing it, and the better I am about my awareness and what I did to create something. I also told Karen during our last session I was nervous for this procedure I had today, not for the actual surgery, but because I couldn't wear lash extensions or any amount of makeup. I thought I couldn't handle it, and I was terrified of the insecure feelings I would get. Well, I imagined writing Karen the success story after I got out the day of, and here I am. Not to mention the nurses kept stopping by my room, and not even the ones assigned to me, just to tell me how pretty I am. A girl who thought she was nothing without lashes felt so good wearing absolutely nothing. I did some belief work leading up to today, saying things like I'm so beautiful, confident, etc. about how others perceived me. I knew it was solidified when I stopped getting nervous about today. I was excited to show up. I even did some affirmations regarding my physical health after surgery, since everyone told me I would feel like I got hit by a bus and in a lot of pain. I got zero pain so far, and I'm in such a good mood, even though they said I would probably feel depressed for a couple of days. Nope, I'm so happy. I actually, crazy enough, feel like I woke up in a different dimension. That sounds so corny, but I even feel like I'm in a different reality. I intended to have so many revelations after waking out of anesthesia, and I did. I surprisingly so clear-headed and knew things I want to create in my reality. That's another thing I learned, was to intend for feelings or intend for a state of being and clarity. I will send another email about things that have changed that everyone's pushed out, as everything is clicked in that department too. I just want to thank Karen so much. I'm sure she has heard that a lot by now, but I really mean it. You were so patient, even with questions I thought were trivial and stupid, but you answered without hesitation, which hardens my belief that much more. I was even worried that I was booking too many sessions. There's never too many sessions. Love talking to you. And you would be frustrated and dealing with the same thing over and over again, and you were anything but. Thank you so much, Karen. So she completely changed her whole entire mindset. I remember when we first started working together, she did have a lot of negative beliefs about how the world works, how people see her, how people act in the world, and we just completely shifted her mindset. And she did have a lot of that when she was talking about the procedure, we did talk about that in our last session, where she was feeling like not being able to wear makeup was going to bring up all these insecurities. And we can always manifest a different version of ourselves, and it's very easy. Like, you just have to start by tapping into that version of yourself, because just like there's all these infinite possibilities, there's also infinite versions of you. So you can always tap into a version of you that's, say, more confident or more outgoing, or better at whatever topic you want or activity. And all you have to do is just kind of start kind of contemplating that, knowing that that's a possibility, that that version of you is already here and that you can become it. And you just start kind of tapping into her, like, or him, the version of you. So kind of like, say I wanted to, like, for her, it was a version of her that was more comfortable in her environment. So she started with intentions about, I feel comfortable in my environment, I feel comfortable in my body. And that was like a starting point. And then she started adding more things that she felt more comfortable affirming for confidence. Because in the beginning, she didn't even feel good saying, I am confident. That was too far away from where she was at. But now, as you saw, she was able to say, she's now using these intentions that I'm confident, and all these other intentions. That's not where we started. But even from the beginning, I would have her I would guide her through tapping into the version of her that is already comfortable and at ease. So you can do that by thinking about, okay, well, if I was already the version of me that had blank, that is already this, that already knows that I'm the God of my reality. And that's always a good version of you to tap into, the all-knowing version, the version that already knows that this works. When you're there, you start thinking about, okay, so if I was that version, how would that feel like? What would that look like? What would that feel like? What would I be thinking? What would I be thinking if it was already that version of me? And you just kind of start kind of like stepping into that version's shoes, and just knowing that it's possible and that you can become that at any time. And before you know it, like, you're already there. So if there's any other topic I wanted to cover from what she said. And then, yeah, so since you mentioned this, I think this is, I've been talking a lot about this in sessions with her, but when it comes to beauty is also, they say beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and beauty, that means, beauty's in the eyes of whoever's looking. It's something very, there's no wrong or right answer. Like, what I think is beautiful is very different from what you may think is beautiful, or another person. And it's also something that you can manifest, because it's not necessarily about what you actually even look like. It's about the energy behind the person. Like, you can think about any celebrity, any, like, influencer or whatever, anyone that's like really popular, that people think they're drop dead gorgeous or something. And a lot of them are just like normal people, like, that you may see on the street. But people see them as more attractive because that is the energy that they're putting out. That's how they perceive that they are perceived. And that's what they experience in their reality. That's something you can manifest 100%. You can always see yourself. And like I said, you could do it the same way I just said, just tapping into that version of you that knows that you're beautiful, that you are it, and that you're it for your person, for anyone else. It's tapping into that confident version. So I'm also a mental health counselor, and I actually used to have a client she was like 80 years old. And this woman had the best self-concept I have ever seen in anyone, ever. And she just thought she was it. Like, she thought she was the most beautiful thing on earth. She would get ready and she would like do her hair and her makeup. And like, she was always talking about just like how much attention she would get from men. And she actually, she would get these men that were like half her age. And that's all because of her self-concept. And nothing to do with the way she actually looked. It was the way that she perceived herself and the way that she perceived that other people would perceive her. So that's a state that can 100% be manifested. How? I just told you guys, you tap into that version that feels that way already, and you let yourself kind of feel that out. And with the knowing that it's entirely possible that you can get there, because that version of you is already in existence right now, because there's parallel realities and multiple versions of you. So was there anything else? Let me just kind of see if there's anything else I wanted to cover in this video. Yeah, that's how you can change absolutely anything about yourself. Like, I've changed so many things about myself I've become more of a morning person, which is something I've always wanted to do, but I never was, and now I am. And I did it the same way. I started kind of tapping into the version of myself that was already a morning person, and then one day I just started waking up early all on my own and getting everything done. The mini list. You mentioned the mini list. The mini list, it's a very underrated technique. I feel like some people always feel like, oh, whatever, like that's no big deal. Like I'm just gonna skip that. But I'm telling you, don't skip that, because that's what's actually going to build your belief in manifesting. You're going to start to see it show up. And if you think it's like boring, or you want to skip over it because you're like, oh, that's not worth my time, it is. It's worth your time, because that is what's gonna build your belief to get to the point where you really truly can see that you are the only one creating. And you can also make it very personable to you. You can include things in your mini list that are things you may actually want or be excited to receive. Like, I love Chipotle. I think I've mentioned Chipotle so many times in videos. I love Chipotle. So Chipotle was actually one of the things that was always on my mini list in the beginning. And then as I started kind of receiving certain things, I would bump it up. I received $1,000 from a mini list once because I included like receiving a large sum of money on it. So mini list things don't necessarily have to be boring or mundane. Like, you can kind of mix it up. You can include, seeing a purple elephant, and you can also include receiving, a nice pair of shoes or whatever, something that you're actually going to be excited about. That's what's going to make it more exciting. And when you receive it, you're going to be that much more grateful because it's something you actually wanted. So, and then it's going to build your belief to get to the point where you can fall back on that belief no matter what. Where even if you were trying to manifest something, say it's like an SP or a job or whatever, it doesn't matter. And maybe you think, oh, well, what if this is too big or too specific or whatever? If you practice your mini list, you can remind yourself, wait, no, I've done all these things. I've gotten all these very specific things. This is no different. I know that this works, so therefore it's working for this too. And you can use that to build your belief and boost yourself in areas that you may perceive as more difficult. Reminding yourself that there is no difference. Just as the equivalent to get a button or a coin on the ground as it is to get $1,000 or an SP or anything. It's all the same. So the mini list, very underrated, but I promise you, it will help you because it would help you build your belief. Like, I see so many people, even in the comments, that are always kind of making comments of like, okay, well, I tried it and it didn't work. Or you are doing what I said earlier most of the time, which is, looking like, instead of looking for the thing to come so you can prove to yourself that it works, you're looking for proof that it doesn't work, to tell yourself, oh, well, it doesn't work for me. That's it. Like, I guess I can just give up. Like, poor me. No, don't be a victim. Don't be a victim of your reality. Don't be a victim of your circumstances. Let yourself build your belief and let yourself know that you're the God of your reality and manifest everything and anything that you want, because it's entirely possible. And I do have some courses. The link will be in the description below. One of my course on, I think there's one that's called Manifesting Your Dream Life, something like that. It's about manifesting multiple things at once. But there's also meditation in there that really goes into making yourself feel like manifesting is easy for you, kind of like reprogramming your mind to see yourself as a version of you that manifesting is easy for, and that you're always manifesting everything easily and effortlessly. Also, my other course is on living in the end, specifically focuses on living in the end to manifest anything and using those types of techniques. Both of my courses also go into parallel realities, because you guys know that's my favorite topic. And also my link for coaching is in the description below. Bye, guys.